Thank you, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House. This is essentially called, by summary, the title washing bill. Right now, cars that are salvaged and rebuilt by salvage yard or salvage repair people can apply to the Department of Revenue for what you would call a clear title. So a car could be total, rebuilt, completely salvaged and rebuilt, and titled the same way it would be as a car that had never been wrecked or anything would happen to it. And so it's one that's supported by the Automobile Dealers Association, the Independent Automobile Dealers Association, the Body Shop Association, bankers, Consumer Finance Association, all the people who would be involved in this.
May be doing quite a lot. I'm not sure. I do know this. It would profit from going to conference. And I offered this to the chairman, and I offered this to the gentleman at the podium who presented the bill, and was told, no, we want to proceed. Well, I don't understand why.
And if I'm a consumer, and a car has been beat up by 300 to 400 pellets of hail, and I have an opportunity to buy one that has not been beat up and that has not been repaired that way, I don't want it to have the same title as the one that's been beat up. I want there to be a distinction. Well, and I would think you would want that for every consumer and every voter in your district.
Stay with me just a second here, Jim,
because right
the question is one of disclosure, right?
Yeah.
All right, we have a car that's beat up with hail damage. You don't think that's disclosure enough for the consumer? Why do you have to go give a salvage title where you cannot get a tag and you cannot get a title to drive the vehicle? Why would you make that individual go to the Department of Public Safety to get an inspection when all they look at is VIN numbers? What are they supposed to say? Gentlemen, there's hail damage on this car.
Well, if you're not selling the car, you can go. You don't have to get a salvage title. The car is not retitled if you hadn't sold the car.
Well, now,
but if you choose to sell the car and it's been totaled, it will get a salvage title and it's a different title. Now, that's an easy distinction to me. I don't see any cloudy area there. There's a car that's been damaged and a car that has not been damaged. What you're telling me is, what you're suggesting to me and the rest of the people in this body is that you want a car that's been damaged to be treated the same way as a car that's not been damaged.
No, sir. Well, let's talk about brand titles.
That's what this bill does. This bill makes the distinction. This makes the distinction. Now, you want to make sure that we don't have a distinction and that people still walk around in the dark. Branded title and the Department of Revenue. Three words and one word. That's all it does. That's all it changes. So I would ask that you to vote against the reverse repealer. Let's pass a bill that helps consumers, helps the automobile industry keep a clean industry and things going the way they need to go. And let's pass this bill as it is without a reverse repealer. It would kill the bill.
Recognize the author to close. Question now occurs on Amendment 1. If you favor the amendment, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The noes have it. The noes have it. Insufficient number.
I haven't heard it yet. Maybe I would have heard it if I had a chance to ask my questions. But why? That is a material change in the law. It's more than cleanup. I don't know what that does. I don't know what doors that open. But I'm suspicious of it. I don't mind telling you. Now, that's another reason this bill should have gone to conference. It doesn't look like it's going to unless you pass this amendment. So I encourage you to adopt this amendment.
Questions on the amendment?
But it's not a complicated bill. You got full disclosure for consumers, or you don't. That's all it is. So I would ask you to oppose the motion and to oppose the amendment.
If I had the gentleman from Clark's white flag, I might be waving it about right now. But I do have some serious concerns about this bill. It's presented to you as a simple bill that doesn't do much. And indeed, if you read it, you might get that impression, in my opinion. I don't know what the agenda here is, but I do know this bill is not, it potentially is much more than is being presented to you. We should rightly be wary of it. And I see somebody's waving a white flag for me. I can take a hint.
Doesn't put any used car part dealers out of business. Salvage rebuilders doesn't put any of them out of business. You can still do it.
Question occurs on Senate Bill 2277, excuse me. In favor of the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 95 yeas, 15 nays, the bill passes.